Everyone, and welcome to Bramall Lane, where the next hour of build-up is free to view for all Sheffield United fans, as the Blades travel to Stoke City for this afternoon's 3 p.m. kickoff. We'll bring you this afternoon's team news in just a few minutes from now. We'll of course be taking a look back to the last time we were out in league action against Barnsley. We'll be hearing from Paul Heckingbottom and of course from our new signing, all to be revealed later on in the show, as well as an SUTV Live exclusive from John Fleck. All of the information surrounding broadcast regulations relating to today's game can be found on the website sufc.co.uk. Hello and welcome back to SUTV Live. I'm Ashleigh Wilmot and it's great to be back in the studio after our international break. Of course, Sheffield United are headed to Bet365 Stadium to face Stoke City today for their 39th game this season. And I'm in the company of two former Blades. Kevin Gage, how are you?
I'm absolutely fantastic, thank you. Looking forward to a really good game of football and hopefully we get some points.
Hopefully. And how have your Saturdays been? Having weekends off? How was that?
No, I don't like having weekends off. I'm not into rugby or anything. I know you like watching men play with their odd-shaped balls occasionally. But
people will start talking, Kev, so...
I can't get into the rugby internationals or anything, so I look forward to the football.
Oh, that's good to have you back. And of course, we are also joined by the lovely Brian Deane. Brian, how are you? You're looking very dapper in your nice blazer today. Putting us all to shame. Sorry, Kev.
Sorry, thank you. No, it's very nice of you to say so.
How's your international break been?
Just usual, really. What was I doing last week? I can't even remember that far back.
Feels like a long time ago.
It does, yeah. Well, I think it was just a sort of like a run-of-the-mill Saturday. I think the weather was quite nice, so it was nice. I think I just went to the park.
You enjoyed the race.
I'm so engaged, aren't I?
I feel like you're massively playing down the last 2 weeks because actually you've been quite a busy man, haven't you?
Oh, you lot! I tell you what.
Surprise!
Yeah. Now listen, that was it was a fantastic occasion for me. I got to get back into, I got out of my comfort zone, but yeah, great time. Great to raise some money for a wonderful human being and a worthwhile cause.
And that was for Rob Burrows, wasn't it?
That's right, yeah, for motor neurons disease. And yeah, it was really brilliant.
Got any moves you can show us now?
Not right now. I think we need to focus on the game.
Oh, I did try, Ron. I did try. No, it's great. You look great in the outfit. What was the dance to? Can you share any details for anyone who missed out?
Yeah, it was to Boogie Wonderland. It was a bit of salsa. So yeah.
I'm sure you can find the video online.
Bit of reminiscing, you know.
Lovely stuff.
Back in the day.
Kev, would you ever, try your hand out on the dance floor?
Yeah, after about 8 pints of lager, I'm absolutely fine. But no, he's a very brave man. That takes an awful lot of courage and a lot of practice. And I've seen Deane on the dance floor back in the day. And
oh, really?
He can move. Don't worry about that.
His hips don't lie.
Well, I've only got one now. The other one's been replaced. But yeah, no, you got it when you need it.
Oh, right, let's bring it back to football, shall we? Where we just have to think about our legs and not our hands and feet and everything. Yeah. So, again, like I just mentioned, we had our international break. Let's just go back a few weeks. We were against Barnsley. Kev, just remind everyone what that day held for us.
Well, it was a vital win, wasn't it? A vital 3 points. We didn't play exceptionally well. We had to grind it out at times, and Barnsley were on a bit of a run of form as well. So they fancied coming here and doing a number on us. And for a long periods of play, they had a lot of possession, didn't really create much, but we held them at bay, and then we kind of gradually got into the game and got on top and got the goals, and it ended up being quite a comfortable victory. But as I say, it was a crucial win for obvious reasons, and local derby as well, which added a little bit of spice. And I think it was important to get the victory, and then everybody could relax. We were firmly implanted in the top 6. We had the 2-week break, the international break. We could let a few people recover from injuries. The players went off on international duty, a few of them. They all came back unscathed, which is great. And then we can go again this afternoon. Exactly,
right. Well, you rounded it up really well, but we do also have some highlights, so let's have a look at those.
In goes the cross. Not a down and a really good save by West Fodringham. Not for the first time. The Blades keeper called upon, and the follow-up shot is high. Chance to cross, and it goes. Up go the heads. Sharp it was. We've got something on it. Anderson with the clearance. Now Norwood. Here's Robinson. Chance to hit one. Just wide from Jack Robinson. It's opened up here for the visitors. Bassey slides the pass in. Chance here for Wolf. Well, here's a chance for Osborne now. In the area. Ben Osborne with the strike. Vita. Deep cross. There's one or two cries for handball there. The referee has a good look. Styles with this corner kick for Barnsley, low in towards the near post. Comes out to the edge of the box. Shot through a ruck of bodies, takes a deflection. Well, that was quick thinking. Here's Howrahan for United. Great ball in, surely! Has it gone in off Berger or Gordon? It looks like Sander Berger's claiming it. United take the lead in the South Yorkshire derby, and it's Sander Berger. Norwood onto the second ball, sends a long ball over the top, and Gibbs White is onto this. Is he onside? Looks like he is. He's into the penalty area now, Morgan Gibbs White. Looking to pick out. Osborne coming in, takes a touch. Osborne! Jefferson for United. He's got support. Norrington Davis. Norrington Davis with a cross towards McBurney, and then tipped over. As Gibbs White brings it forward for United. McBurney, can he get out of his feet? He can. Morgan Gibbs White, can he get round Collins? He can, surely. Gibbs White there for United. There's the second goal the Blades craved. And it's Morgan Gibbs White once again. Wide to Gibbs White. Sends the ball into that box. Clever pass it was. Scooped over the bar by Jefferson.
It was great to go into the international break with another 3 points under our belt. Kev, who stood out for you in that game?
Well, you have to say Gibbs White was probably the difference between the sides at the end of the day. Scored a great goal, didn't he? And was instrumental in most of the good bits of attacking play that we did. But just looking at the replay, I'd completely forgotten about Wes Fotheringham's save in the first half. Because if that goes in, it could have been a completely different game. So that's a crucial save. So you have to say, you know, he played really well and was confident and capable as he's been ever since he's got his chance back in the side. But Gibbs White is so important to the way we play, and he really showed his mettle there.
He really did. Now let's hear from Paul Higginbottom and what he had to say post-match.
It's been a long slog for a long period of time, and I think, you know, with the amount of effort that the lads have put in, with the little things that's, you know, been niggling at me, I could talk about now, like teams cancelling on us, the big injury list that we've had. I think it's only just that we sign off with a win before this international break, so delighted, and just told the players in there, you know, they all need credit. We've had players playing out position, players putting themselves forward who aren't 100% fit to get them back on the bench, and the players who've been playing every week. There's always been a big moment, whether it's been a goal from Bill, a bit of magic from Morgan, lads keeping clean sheets, Wes with a save today. So, yeah, I think it's only fitting that we sign off with a win, and then we get ready now for the final 8 games.
Seemed a bit leggy to begin with, but 60 minutes in, took control and never looked back.
Yeah, 12:30 kickoffs can be strange. Stadiums can be flat. We also looked like the team who played on Wednesday night. And we spoke at half time, we needed to inject an aggressive mentality into us and just do everything quicker without the ball, quicker with the ball. Take risks, just make the game that we want it to be. And I thought we did that. But as you said, we did that straight from the first whistle, second half. But Barnsley sort of tried to stay with us, and then a good quick free kick. Delighted Sander got his goal, and then, so we didn't really look back then.
And it was a cracking finish from Gibbs White, wasn't it, who has toiled a little bit with some of his flick-ons recently, but a lovely finish.
Yeah, he was safer today. We spoke a lot with him, and you know, one thing Morgan is he's serious about his football. He wants to do well, he wants to learn. I enjoy working with him for that reason, and yeah, he was much more secure in the work he did today. But you can never have it both ways. Fans will enjoy the flicks and then the moment when they don't come off. But the bits probably that they didn't notice today was how secure he was, doing things simple, and then a real moment of quality from Ollie Mack to dig that ball out from under his feet to put him through, and then the composure to finish.
Great to get Hecky's thoughts post-match there, and I think we can all agree he looks absolutely delighted to get those 3 points, doesn't he, Brian?
Yeah, I think it kind of wiped out the performance of the game before, so it's always good to get back on the winning streak, but also, you know, going into the international break, what it means is that you've got a positive feeling in and around the club, and you've got something to work towards, instead of having to pick people up, having to think about individuals. Everybody's kind of ready for the break, and you know, when you've got 3 points, it makes such a massive difference.
And he wasn't the only one with a smile on his face, as we also caught up with Kyron Gordon.
Blackpool, obviously we know the first half we weren't great, and half time bit of shouting, and we come out and did the job, and that's what it's about in football. You don't always play great, but it's more important to get the 3 points. What
messages were rammed home then by the coaching staff then at half time?
Just to do everything quicker, on the ball, off the ball, the press, just everything quicker. Passing it around the back, including myself. We were a bit slow and sloppy at times, and it would just literally run around more and make them run more by keeping the ball, and that's what we did the second half, and we deserved the win.
A lot of the players and indeed the coaching staff leading up to this game and other ones have spoken about just that element of fatigue. Do you think that played its part in the first half?
Yeah, I think after a few of the lads said like we looked so leggy in the first half, but it's more mentally, I think, and second half, when you're mentally switched on, you can push through that barrier and run that extra 5%, that extra 10%, and we've got great characters in there, mixed with experience and young players, and especially people like me and all the squad really. You give everything for the club, and we knew it were a big 3 points with the international break coming up, so we just give everything and did what we had to do to get the 3 points.
And Sander Berger's goal, or was it Sander Berger's goal, appeared to kill Barnsley?
Yeah, it was definitely Sander's goal. I'm not going to take credit because I think I was a bit in front of him, so I thought if I touch this, I wanted my first goal, but I was like, if I touch it, I think I'm offside, so I just left it. But yeah, obviously he's a great player as well, and that goal just lifted everyone, the crowd, everything, and then I think we could have won by 3 or 4 in the end.
Great to hear from Kyron there after the game. He also had a really good game, didn't he, Kev?
Yeah, he's been very, very steady when he's come in and done the job. He's hardly put a foot wrong, to be honest. He really has. At the end of the day, he's just a really good defender. He's a solid, strong defender. He's playing in our, we call it our overlapping centre-back formation, but we don't do an awful lot of that now because you can't find people like Chris Basham and Jack O'Donnell. They're not around much, but he just comes in, does the job, and I was really, really pleased for him.
And he's still so young. He's only 19 years old, so he's still kind of finding his feet in the team as well. Yeah,
it's good that Hecky has been in charge in under-23, so he's not shy in promoting some of these under-23 players, and he's got no hesitation in giving them an opportunity. He was forced to with our injury situation, but I mean that augurs well for the future for Kyron and for Sheffield United, that next season he'll be looking to push on and get a regular place in the team.
You just mentioned injuries there. Of course, we'll all remember Billy Sharp coming off. Brian, have we had any news on Billy?
Well, from what we're hearing, it's not as serious as it could have been, so that's definitely a positive. It gives Jebison an opportunity to come in and show what he can do, and obviously the other forwards will have to be on alert now, because if Billy's not there, then the goals have got to come from somewhere. You know, it's up to those players who are left to step up now. You know.
And Billy showed his maturity and his experience, didn't he? By as soon as he got a little niggle in that previous game, he's off. He's signalling to the bench. You know, I don't want to make this any worse, because he's going to be absolutely crucial to our next 7 or 8 games. So we need a fit Billy Sharp. So he's done the right thing, and hopefully, you know, he'll be back very, very soon. Yeah, fingers crossed. And speaking of teams and who's in it, let's have a look at how we line up ahead of our 3 p.m. kickoff this afternoon. So this is our side, Sheffield United. Who stands out for you there, Brian?
Well, I'm a huge Sander Berg fan. I think he's, you know, when he's on form, he looks head and shoulders a lot of people. When he's picking up that ball and running with it, it looks so effortless. Morgan Gibbs-White, again, you know, very good players, had a very good season. I I'm looking forward to seeing how Jebison plays in this game. It's a huge opportunity for him, and one of the reasons we spoke about perhaps bringing him back on loan at the time when we discussed it in the studio, didn't we, Kevin, about him being at Burton. So yeah, that's what this is about, and it comes with a little bit of pressure, but I think sometimes when you're put into those situations, that's when you can demand a little bit more from yourself. So that's great for him. It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a very tough game. Stoke's one of those stadiums I used to hate playing at, because they've got like one of the sides, I don't know if it's been filled in now, but there was one side where the wind used to just wrap around the stadium, and they always used to be big, ugly and horrible to play against. It was not my favourite team to play against, if I'm honest. But yeah, just keep it on the deck today, I think.
Bring it back to our team. It is worth noting, I've got here that only 5 of our starting players started against Stoke earlier on in the season. That's Egan, Davies, Norwood, Fleck and Gibbs-White. Kev, why is that?
Well, I mean, the season's been so topsy-turvy, hasn't it? I mean, we had a huge upheaval with not only has the team changed, but personnel's because of injuries and this, that and the other. We've got shot of a few players, but of course we had a managerial change halfway through. Not only the managerial change, but we had a complete change of formation, because Slav, was persevering with his 4 at the back, his 4-3-3, which didn't really suit us. So yes, we had a managerial change, then we had the formation change. Of course the players have had to change, he's brought different players in. So to be where we are is quite remarkable, to be honest, because we've shown automatic promotion form since Hecky has taken over, and we've really hit the ground running, and we've just got better and better and better ever since. Just going back to the team, I mean, it's great that we've got Dino alongside us, because there's so many parallels with Dino, coming in and making a big name for himself as a youngster in the team as centre forward, and we've got Jebison, who's got a fantastic future ahead of him, if he can do similar. So really big opportunity for Jebbo, and good that it's away. No pressure at home. He's away from home. He can hopefully get on the back of some of the Stoke defenders and really give them a hard time. Yeah,
he'll definitely be one to watch today. Brian, you did just mention that you didn't particularly enjoy playing away there.
Yeah.
Also, it can be quite an intimidating place to play with their fans there. Would you agree?
Yeah, definitely. It's just one of those stadiums, since they moved a long time ago from the last stadium, but when they came up into the Premier League, they were very, teams didn't like going there. They seem to have kind of had this, they made it into a fortress, and it's just, sometimes there are grounds that it gets a reputation of we don't like going there. It must have been a bit like that at Wimbledon.
Yeah,
where
for many years, yeah. It was Stoke was associated with Tony Pulis for all those years, so they've developed a bit since then. They're not quite as up and at him and as ferocious as the Tony Pulis sides. They do play a bit more football, but yeah, I agree with Brian. It's a difficult place to go. Just got to go and kind of grind it out today. And
getting those 3 points, psychologically, that'll give us a real boost, especially getting into this business end of the season, Kev. Yeah,
well, listen, 3 points. Well, I'll be celebrating tonight with 3 points. I think it's going to be a difficult game. As long as we get something out of the game, I'll be happy this afternoon.
Yeah, Brian, thoughts? Do you think they're going to be a hard opposition this afternoon?
Definitely. It's one of those games. It's like Kevin said. If we can come away with something, come away with a point, then I think everybody would be happy. If we came away with 3 points, then I think all of a sudden people are starting to dream again, aren't they? Because those are the kind of fixtures that can really set you up if you can get the points away at Stoke or whatever. Especially they're going to have teams go there and are going to have to win there as well. So it's a good marker if we could get 3 points. But like Kevin said, I'd be happy with a point.
Yeah, and
Tough game.
Hecky looked really delighted after our last game, but it is worth noting that when he came in, we were 16th in the table, and now we're 5th. So, it's looking good. We're on the up.
Yeah, for me, it's really interesting because we had a manager, an established manager who came in with Slav, and he was very stubborn. I think sometimes you can inherit a situation and all you have to do is a little bit of tweaking, but he was determined to put his print on it from day one, and it just didn't suit the players. You know, we all had respect for him. We all said, well, look, he's done it at 2 other clubs, but sometimes it maybe misunderstood the culture here, and obviously the abilities of the players, because Paul Eckingbottom's come in, he's just reverted back, and everything just seems so slotted into place. And you have to give him great credit for that. You know, you can watch what's happening and not have a say, but to be sort of like diligently realising that, you know, we've got all the ingredients here to be able to have a sustained push. You know, it's been good. He's brought in the right people, different personalities. So yeah, you have to give him a lot of credit for how he's turned things round.
I mean, jumping up, I don't know if my maths is that good, but 11 places in the table?
I mean,
it's not bad.
Brian summed it up quite well there, actually. And also, it's the players have responded magnificent as well to the change. Not just Heckingbottom, but Stuart McCall coming in has a huge effect, you know, in the changing room, creating a bit of atmosphere and a bit of life and vibrancy about the place. And the players have responded in a really positive way, not just off the pitch, but on the pitch. They're playing with more positive football, going forward more. There's less sideways and backwards passing, so it's not possession for possession's sake, it's possession with a purpose. So the whole thing's been so much better, you know, since Hecky took over. And as you say, his record's fantastic. Hopefully we can keep that going. We've had a few hiccups away. You know, we're going to maybe lose a couple more games. That may happen, but you'd like to think with the amount of home games we've got, we can really push on and cement a place in that top 6.
Yeah, I think we've got another 8 games, 5 at home, so that's looking in our favour, hopefully. Let's just have... Oh, here we go. Yeah. As if by magic. Our last 8 games.
That's what we're talking about. If we can get something out of today, then we've got this run of 3 home games that are absolutely crucial. They're not going to be difficult in their own particular way. Bournemouth, obviously a top quality side. That's going to be a real test. QPR, the home game against QPR and the away game against QPR. Fortunately, we're playing QPR when they've just come off the boil a little bit. You know, a couple of months ago, they were doing really, really well. They've just edged down a bit. And then we've got Reading who are fighting for their lives. So these 3 home games, I think, in my opinion, it defines our season. So get something out today, and then we've got these 3 home games that will really make or break our push.
Let's take a look at also Stoke City's form and how they've been the past few games as well. So they came off a win against Millwall going into the international break. They've lost 2 and they've drawn 2. So they've been under a lot of pressure. Michael O'Neill's been under a lot of pressure to really get those winning games. So they'll be wanting to win today. Yeah,
and it's always dangerous playing a team like Stoke coming off the international break, because it gives you an opportunity. It depends which way you look at it. From his point of view, he must have been thinking, okay, this is a good time to have a break. We're going into the international break positive because we've won a game. And it gives him an opportunity to just gather his troops, perhaps formulate a plan for the last sort of like 9 games or so. It's going to be an interesting time for him, because the fans down there are quite vocal as well. If we could go into this game, perhaps silence the fans, it's going to add to the pressure for him.
Let's also take a look at how we've been playing at the last few games in comparison to our opponents. I mean, slightly better. 2 green bubbles there, so that means we've won 2, we've drawn 2, and we've lost in the middle.
Well, as I said earlier, under Hecky, we've had automatic promotion form. You know, our form has been that good, our results have been that good. The one that stands out is the Coventry, and that was such a strange game of football, because they absolutely took us apart in the second half, and it was a game like we haven't seen Sheffield United capitulate like that for months and months.
And we don't want to see that again.
No, hopefully that we've got that completely out of our system now. I expect us to continue the good form and just keep this momentum rolling to the end of the season, to be honest. Today will be difficult, because it's not often you play a team with virtually nothing to play for, because they can't get relegated, they can't make the top 6. So they're just going out and fulfilling the fixtures, yes. And sometimes that can work against you, because they just relax and they just play.
And they'll be really hungry. I mean, we are sitting currently at 5th in the table, and they are 12th in the table. So Oh.
They're just below there, aren't they? They're just below Blackpool, whatever. They're 14th, 15th. As I say, they've got nothing to play for. But as we know, the couple of results last night didn't go for us, because Huddersfield beat Hull last night, and I believe Forest are walloping Blackpool as we speak, or may even have won.
Is that the technical term?
Yeah. So I think we may have dropped down a place, but everybody seems to be, getting results and performing. So again, I go back to what I say: we need to get something out today. We don't want to set back and come away with a defeat at Stoke.
Yeah, Huddersfield did move up into third place with 66 points after last night's victory away at Hull. Brian, have you ever struggled with going away with Stoke? Playing against them, that really mental breakthrough with a team that are just hungry to win. They've got nothing really in it for the rest of the season.
The way to approach these kind of games when you see a team that hasn't got anything to lose, to play for, is to basically just go for it. The tempo's got to be good. You get to set the tempo before they do. I think that can be a real positive. If you let a team in that position settle into their position, into the game, then you could have problems, because then people start to really relax on the pitch. They get confident, but you put them under pressure from the start. It then starts to kind of reverberate back to the coach. And then it can all start tumbling down. So very important how we start the game today.
Yeah, I've no worries about us starting the game with a good tempo. I think we usually do that.
Yeah.
Even I mentioned the Coventry, let's call it a debacle, but we started the game okay for half an hour. For the first half hour we were okay. So I've no worries about a tempo starting the game. And also, of course, we always take 2,500, 3,500 fans, and they make so much noise away from home. And let me tell you, we both know how important that is as a player. Yeah. That's great to have that support. So that really inspires you as well.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be a good game. Of course, don't forget, kickoff is at 3 p.m, so in just over half an hour. Now, our team here at SUTV Live have been rummaging through our archives, and take a little look at this.
Done it with his third team. It's great. Great achievement. It just tells you that he's won a lot of games.
Vokes on the half volley, and he scores. Sam Vokes smacks home a top finish from the edge of the penalty area. The former Sheffield United loanee.
Across his hand has not beaten the first man. Nothing more infuriating.
Well, here is Fleck trying to just wriggle his way into the penalty area. He's teed up Dowell, who shoots, and he's equalised. The half-time substitute makes an instant impact in the second minute of the second half. What a terrific low drive. Deep in conversation as Stoke prepare this set-piece corner from the far side. In it's bent in at the near post, and it's been knocked in. And Sheffield United stood still, and Ryan Shawcross, the Stoke City stalwart, with an unmarked volley. Sheffield United and now McGoldrick. McGoldrick, on it goes to Fleck, first time ball to release Dowell, and Dowell's got Deane to his left and Sharp to his right hand side. Here is Billy Sharp on the edge of the penalty area. Sharp beats the first man and the second, tees up into Stevens, who shoots, and he scored, and the Blades have equalised here at Stoke City.
So that was our 2-2 draw against Stoke City back in 2019. Kev, we'd like the same. Well, we'd like a win today, I guess, but the same magic.
Yeah, I'd settle for 2-2 right now, by the way. But yeah, I remember the game, because obviously we just talked about a team playing with nothing to play for. Well, we'd already won. We'd already got promotion by then, so we were happy. That was just like party time. So sometimes it is easier to play when there's no pressure whatsoever, but there's a massive pressure today for on our point of view, to get the result. So it's going to be a different type of game.
There were huge celebrations actually at this game, weren't there, Brian? Do you remember?
Not really, no. Look, I wasn't there. I'm not going to lie to you. But the thing is, it's like I've been involved in games where you're already up, and just being able to go out there relaxed is wonderful, isn't it? It's almost like it's a prize for all the hard
because
work.
it rarely happens, does it?
Yeah.
It's only
Is that when the pressure's off?
Yeah, because obviously it's only going to happen at the end of the season. During the season, there's always something to play for, but it may be the last couple of 3 games of the season. You're mid-table, you can't get in the top 6, you can't get relegated. So sometimes managers change things around and play different players, play some of the squad players. But even then, they come into the game and they want to prove something because they haven't been playing, or they want to play for a new contract. So sometimes you get that thing going on.
Yeah.
Kev, you had an absolute screamer against them, didn't you? Do you remember?
Well, I do remember it, actually. I didn't score that many goals, so I do remember the ones.
Look at that!
But that one was quite special because that's a free kick routine that obviously worked. And the phrase in football is top bins. You hit it in the top corner, it goes in the top bin, and that's gone right in the stanchion. So yeah, I connected quite well with that one. That was good.
Is it nice when a planned move really pays off?
We love it when a plan comes together.
Don't we just? And speaking of great goals, let's have a look at this.
It's 32 from 30 for Swansea. Berger, that's nice. 1-2 with Gibbs White on halfway, some space for Sander Berger to run into, finds Fleck 30 yards from goal. Fleck will feed it down the left hand side for Norrington Davis into the middle. What a goal that is! George Baldock coming in off the right hand side on the volley. He sprints towards the Sheffield United technical area to celebrate with the subs. What a way to score your first layup goal for the Blades since December 2019 in the Premier League at Norwich. A devastating finish by George Baldock. A brilliant few minutes for the Blades, and they've taken a 2-0 lead here against Swansea City after 17 and a half minutes.
So that was George Baldock there getting goal of the month. I mean, Brian, were you impressed?
Goal of the season, that
was
absolutely fantastic. I think when you score a goal like that, it's something that's going to stay with you forever. And of course, it's not VHS nowadays, which was in my day. But so I'm sure he'll have a nice reel to keep watching that.
And he doesn't score a lot of goals, does he? So he'll be really pleased with that.
Similar to what I've just said against my one. When you're a defender, sometimes midfielders, you don't score that many, so you do remember. They'll certainly remember that. But the great thing about that goal, not only the strike and the finish, but the build-up was excellent. I think there was 10, 15 passes as well. And I particularly loved the celebration because he's on the run, he's hit the ball, he's on the run, and he just kept running.
He just
kept going, he was off. And he was straight over to the bench, and then all the bench jump in, and that's fantastic to see.
Oh, that's lovely, isn't it? We're pleased that he got goal of the month here at SUTV Live. We've got so much more to look forward to. Of course, we've got today's game, but we've also got a few more to look forward to too. Come back to us on Tuesday the 5th. That's our game against QPR. 7:45 kick-off, so we'll be live from 7 p.m. And then shortly after that, we're against the Cherries on Saturday. So that's an earlier kick-off at 12:45 p.m. But you'll be getting all the action here in studio from midday. Now, let's take a look at how both teams line up ahead of kick-off today. Let's start with our opponents, Stoke City. So there we have it, the team that we're facing. Kev, I'm going to come to you first. Who stands up for you? Who do we need to be aware of?
I mean, obvious names for all Blades fans is our legend called Phil Jagielka. And it will be interesting to see how he's going to cope with Daniel Jefferson. Because if we're unleashing Jefferson on him, then I'd like to see Jefferson getting on the end of a few long balls or clearances, and I think he could give Jagielka a real hard time this afternoon. So we know all about him, and of course a name that is so familiar to every football fan in the country is DiMaggio Wright Phillips. So he's
DiMaggio.
That's what it says. So he's son of Sean and grandson of Ian Wright. So yeah, if he's half as good as his dad and his granddad, he's got a good career in front of him.
I mean, let's hope for our sake that he isn't.
I hope he has a nightmare, to be honest.
And of course, there's loads of experience in the likes of Joe Allen there as well, Brian. So
yeah, he's an excellent player. I mean, he's dictated the tempo for a long time down at Stoke now. Very good player. Swansea, Liverpool. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. But I also think that, you know, Joe Allen, he's at the point in his career now where it might be an opportunity to run off the back of somebody like him for the likes of Berg, Gibbs-White. So yeah, interesting.
Yeah, another point to add is so many teams these days have started to play with 3 centre-halves, so 3 at the back and wing-backs, and Stoke have actually reverted back to a back 4. So that puts extra emphasis on Jagielka and whoever the other centre-half is.
Yeah.
And that's where I think, Jebison could maybe, rather than have 3 centre-halves to deal with, he's only got 2 there. So I think him and Gibbs-White floating around, I think they could really cause them problems if we can get at them, get enough possession of the ball and move forward and get after their defence.
Now, we did actually talk about RT, but let's have a look. For those of you who might have just joined us, this is how we line up against Stoke City. I mean, we just mentioned Daniel Jebison getting an opportunity there to start, so that would be great for him to, prove his worth to the manager, Ryan.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and Kevin's right in what he's saying. It can be difficult if you're playing against 3 centre backs, but with the 2, you know where the channels are to perhaps operate in between. And if we've got Gibbs-White who can get into that space between the back of the midfield and in front of the defence, we can cause them problems. It's about being quite free flowing. If we can establish that against this team, then I think there could be dividends.
And one man who's not going to want us to cause them problems is Michael O'Neill, their manager. Kev, he's been under quite a lot of pressure at the moment, and they'll be really wanting those 3 points.
Yeah, a very experienced manager. Obviously, was with the Irish national side for years and years, and so he knows the game, knows what it's all about. But I'm just going back to our team. We're looking at a good side there. That's a strong Sheffield United team. Our midfielder, Fleck, Norwood and Sander Berge, you won't get 3 better players in this division, especially all together. So I think if they can get on the ball and dominate, I think we can really push on and certainly get a result, but maybe comfortably beat this Stoke side. I think we're solid at the back as well. We've obviously got Egan there, who's just going to solidify everything. I think Robinson's been really, really good for the last few months. He's been a superstar, really. And good to see Ben Davies back as well. He's playing on the wrong side. He'll be playing on the Chris Basham side, but he's experienced enough and comfortable enough on the ball to just slide into that position, no problem.
And one man and player that we haven't mentioned is our new signing, Filip Uremovic. We did ask him earlier this week. I'm still tongue-tied, clearly. But we did manage to catch up with him. Our reporter, Matt Young, had a word. Let's hear from him now.
Philip, welcome to Sheffield United. First of all, how pleased are you to be joining the Blades?
Thank you for welcoming, and I'm really pleased to be here. It's a really big club and really big honor to be here, privilege. I hope that we will achieve our goals, and of course I hope to see fans as soon as possible.
We're talking just after Sheffield United's victory over Barnsley. I'd imagine today has been quite a hectic day for you.
Yeah, it was a very hectic day. I was flying from Croatia to here, so yeah, all busy day, but at the end, nice victory, big victory, 3 important points, and very good to step for future.
Of course, you've watched the game, so tell us what you thought of Sheffield United's performance today.
It was quite good performance. I think the opponent was also very good, but at the end, Sheffield United showed that they are a better team, and in the end, deserve win.
And you got a little feeling to what it's like to walk out at Bramall Lane. What were your thoughts of the atmosphere and the stadium?
Yeah, atmosphere is really good. When you're coming in England, you always expect that supporters will be really good, and today they show that. I'm really pleased to see that to see all that people, and I hope that we will see very soon on that pitch.
How quick did this deal come together for you?
It was very quick, I must say. After everything what happened in last week about me and about the club in Russia, I get offer from Sheffield United, and we managed everything very quickly. At the end, I'm very happy to be here, honored, and really, really nice thing.
Now, because of the terrible situation between Ukraine and Russia, players have had contracts suspended under the new FIFA rules. This has allowed Filip to become available and for him to join Sheffield United. Kev, it's great for us that we get another international in our team.
It's just fallen really well for us, isn't it, with the injury situation, the Basham situation. So it can only be good that we've got someone like him, you know, in the ranks. I mean, I'm really pleased to hear him now. He speaks perfect English. So there's no worries about him fitting in or understanding what we're trying to do at all. We don't know too much about him. All we do know he's obviously international, as the slide showed. He's a leader, apparently captained all his clubs. He's captained his country. He's good on the ball because he's played right back, so he's not just like a big centre half who just heads it and tackles it. So he can pass the ball, as we saw there. So I think in our kind of system, I have no worries about him slotting in and doing the job there. And
also, you know, he's match fit, isn't he? He's coming in, Brian. He's match fit. He'll be raring to go. He watched the game against Barnsley. He was really impressed with the atmosphere at Bramall Lane. He really wants to play, and it's nice to know that that's where he is mentally as well.
Yeah, and look, you know, sometimes you get these players coming. Sometimes it seems from obscurity, and they turn into be an outstanding player. So this could be one of those situations. He's obviously got, you know, very good pedigree. You know, he's an international. He's played in Russia. You know, and when you've got players from those kind of parts of Europe, they're usually quite good in the dark arts as well. You know, so that's. You know, that could be a plus as well, you know, in terms of game management.
Well, we will have to watch this space. Yeah. Now, from a new signing to a player who's very much part of the Sheffield United family, earlier this week we caught up with John Fleck about today's game.
Yeah, it was good to get back. Only trained maybe 1 or 2 days before the game, but it was good to get back involved with the boys.
And the break, I imagine you've used it to your advantage as well, building up your fitness ahead of this next game?
Yeah, I think the break came at a good time for us as a team and a squad. We've managed to get a few boys back, hopefully, for the next game. And yeah, obviously, I had a few days off and also time to work hard when we're back in.
And for you personally, how close are you to where you want to be fitness-wise now?
Yeah, as I say, we had a couple of days after the Barnsley game, but the boys who have been in have been training really hard throughout the week, so yeah, I feel fine.
And I'd imagine from your point of view and from the team's point of view, good to see 1 or 2 coming back from injury, 1 or 2 smiles on the training ground and ready for this big push before the end of the season.
Yeah, as you say, it's obviously a massive push needed now, and obviously the break, as I said, came at a really good time for us as a squad, and hopefully get 4 or 5 players back.
It's been a difficult time in terms of injuries. How well do you think the team's come together in difficult circumstances?
Yeah, the boys have been playing a lot of games, they've been brilliant. Obviously a lot of young boys have come through and on the bench, and which has been good for them, but I think at this stage of the season we'll need a lot of experienced players back.
No more breaks now, so how do you assess the run-in?
Yeah, it'll be difficult. Obviously we're all looking towards the playoffs where we are now, but there's probably 10 teams looking to get in there at the moment, and we just need to take each game as it comes.
5 games at home though, that must be an advantage, especially with recent results on home soil.
Yeah, obviously our recent form's been good at home, and we'll need to try and continue that, and that's what we'll do. We'll also need the backing from the fans as well, and because I'm sure there'll be some difficult moments.
And a lot of games in April in a quick space of time, but I'm guessing you guys will be used to it now after what you've experienced since January.
Yeah, I think it's the best way. I think that most of us prefer to play as much as possible. Obviously at times you'll be a bit more tired, but that's just part and parcel of it.
In terms of your experience, and you've actually got out of this division before, and 1 or 2 others as well, how much will that come into play, do you think?
Yeah, it obviously helps. There's a lot of experienced players in the dressing room. Obviously some young boys coming through as well who have been part of it at times. So yeah, we also need the sort of older heads in the group.
You mentioned the young lads, obviously 1 or 2 getting in and staking a claim. What have you made to their progress?
Yeah, they've been great. Obviously some of them getting through circumstances of injuries, but the boy, young Kyron's been coming in and done great, and he wanted to keep his spot. Looking ahead then to this next game against Stoke City, what challenge can we expect from them? It'll be difficult, as every other game is in this division. For us, it's just try and crack on with our normal game plans and play the way we play. They've obviously dropped out a little bit, but had a morale boosting win against Millwall prior to the break, so they may be finding a bit of confidence once again. Yeah, they will be. They've got an experienced manager who's been at international level as well, and an experienced group of players as well, so yeah, it'll be a tough game.
Great to get John Fleck's thoughts there ahead of today's game. Now, just a quick reminder for all the broadcasting regulations, all that information, just head to our website. It's sufc.co.uk on how you can watch the game today. Now, of course, we just heard from John Fleck there. Guys, I mean, he's admitted it's going to be a difficult day at the office, Brian. I mean, we've touched on that.
Yeah.
And it's always difficult away, but with the fans and what have you, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, it's good that the players have already got it in their mind that it's going to be a tough game, because sometimes you can put yourself into a real match mode and come out fighting. So I'm glad that they've got that attitude, and it sets the game up nicely, I think.
Yeah, a cold, wet, windy afternoon in Stoke. I mean, fantastic.
What more could they want? He also did mention as well, it's good to see the more experienced players coming in back from injury, because really that's how we're going to be wanting to end the season.
Yeah, we're going to need all the squad, aren't we, from now to the end of the season. And it's great, just looking at our bench, you know, fills me with a little bit more joy, because it's not full of under-23s. Yes, we've got Asula in there, and Jai is only 21, but he's proved himself on the pitch, you know, this season in the first team. So we've got some experienced players, you know, ready to step in if need be. But it's great to see Flecky back. I think it gives us a little bit more than Hourihan. Hourihan's more of an Oliver Norwood passer of the ball, where Fleck will drive forward and make those little 10, 15 yard bursts. He'll get forward and get his shots in. It just gives us a little bit more attacking threat on that left-hand side.
Yeah, you need different people doing different jobs. If you've got too many people doing the same job, then it can really hamper the team.
I mean, I'm sad to say this, Kev, but it's coming to the time where you might have to leave us. I'm being told, I know. But before you go, I want your final thoughts. What are your predictions? Because you're always very optimistic.
And that, I'm going to continue in that vein, but I'm going to be even more optimistic, because I actually came in here thinking, you know what, I'll be happy with a draw today, and I still would be. But listening to us talk, and looking at the team, I actually think we're going to win. I think we're going to win by a couple of goals, so I'm going for 2-0.
2-0. I think that's a clean sheet. That's
a clean sheet,
way more optimistic than a draw, so we'll take that.
With our defence, I expect us to keep a clean sheet this afternoon. So if we can score, and I think we will, I think we'll run out winners.
Brian, do you agree?
Yeah, I'm going to share his optimism now.
Look at all of us.
I'm going to go for 2-1.
2-1, okay, so not quite the clean sheet. You think they might have something in
Well,
them.
I was right last time, wasn't I? So I'm going to go with my own.
You're always right, Brian. Well, we'll have to see. So, Kev, you're going to run off to commentary, and we are now going to hear from Rhys Norrington-Davies.
Massive win, and as you said, it just keeps us in the top 6. We just need to keep on progressing on that now and getting more points on the board.
Does it feel like your spot to lose now that you're in there?
There's 8 games to go, so a lot of football to be played.
How beneficial was your time at Stoke?
Yeah, no, a trip back there this weekend. Learning curve was massive there. As have all my loans been good learning curves. I'm playing for Stoke, it's a massive club. So yeah, looking forward to the game.
Do you believe that having spent some time under him, that Michael O'Neill will get it right with Stoke?
Yeah, you mentioned they're a big club, but there's quite a few big clubs at this level now. They had a great start to the season, so it'll be a challenging game come Saturday, that's for sure.
What was it like working under Michael, clearly a former international boss as well? I imagine he was someone that you could have taken plenty from.
I enjoyed my time there, and obviously learning a different part to my game. Played several different positions whilst I was at Stoke, left back, left wing back, left centre half, and it's just about taking on board what other managers have to say about your game.
Looking forward to coming up against Phil Jagielka this weekend?
Yeah, it'll be an interesting game, yeah.
Do you hope that you're still playing at nearly 40 years old as he's doing?
If I can get to 40 years old, then yeah, I've had a good career, that's for sure.
Well, there was Rhys Norrington-Davies there. He also says about us being in 16th position when Hecky came to the club, and now being in a playoff position at the moment is obviously great for us here at Sheffield United. Now time to hear from our manager, Hecky.
No, I wouldn't say struggle for consistency. They've had patches where they've been good and had promotion form, and they've had patches where they've not, and that's what's found them mid-table. But if you look at the squad and the group of players and the way Michael's looking to try and get them playing, we know it's going to be tough. We're going away from home again to another big club with some good players, and we know it's going to be tough. And as I say, we're not expecting anything different from every game between now and the end of the season. It's regardless who we're playing, how we see them in terms of the strengths and weaknesses, what shape they play, what team they put out, what 11 they put out. Every game's the same. It's going to be tough, whether there's teams scrapping and players scrapping for contracts, scrapping to stay in this league or get promoted out of this league. It's a strange time of season, and I think you just got to focus on yourself and your own approach to it and make sure we do all we can to get a result.
Stoke as a club seems to be in a better place than they were when Michael took over. Do you feel that he will get things right there?
Yeah, and I think you look at, and again from the outside looking in, I don't know anything about the finances as such, but you're looking at the turnover of players and squad and the time that they've spent now and the turnover of players. It appears to me like in terms of financial situation they'll be just about getting to the point now where they're freeing up money for the budget, and instead of having to cut, they're at a point now where they've got a squad, and any savings they make can be reinvested into the group, and you'd expect Michael, well it is Michael's team now, I know that, but you expect him now to start shaping and like I say, regardless how they finish this season, mathematically they can still do it and they'll still be chasing for the playoffs. But I think I would expect everything they do from now on, this season into next, to be an improvement and to be pushing and building at the top end of this league.
Great to hear from Paul Heckingbottom there ahead of today's game. Now, just another reminder, for all information regarding our broadcasting regulations and matchday passes, do head to our website sufc.co.uk where you'll find all that information. Now, we've only got a few minutes to go until the game, so don't leave us while we give you our final thoughts. Now, just coming off of Hecky's chat there, you know, he's talking about holding them in great regard. He obviously really respects that team. Yeah. So, I mean, they'll have been working really hard ahead of today's game to make sure they're match ready. Yeah,
I mean, look, everybody respects a trip down to Stoke. It's a very tough place to go and get anything out of. Not only because it's an intimidating atmosphere, it's physical. The games are usually physical down there, but also the conditions are usually not what you actually want. There's always kind of a wind blowing and whirring around the stadium, which doesn't help if you're trying to play good football. So he knows that getting anything out of this game is going to be difficult. But, if the preparation is right, and I'm sure knowing that who they're playing beforehand, they will be prepared for this game.
I mean, about now, 10 minutes before the game, Brian, what do you think he'll be saying to his team?
It's just going to be final instructions individually, about, they will have identified certain players and they will just be saying, how to cope with certain situations. So all the prep's been done now. There's not really a lot you can do as a manager in the changing rooms now, apart from, by the time you've said your last kind of speech before you go out, you know that it's too late. So however he can affect their thinking at this point, that's probably going to be the most important thing he's going to say today as a collective. And I mean, we've said it before, but especially today, we need to come out on the front foot and show them we mean business. I mean, straight away, don't we? Yeah, as I've said, tempo-wise, it's about getting out there, establishing as quickly as possible, perhaps trying to put them a little bit on the back foot, especially with some of the issues that the manager's got at the moment. Are with the players being aware of the manager being under pressure, how are they going to battle for him today? And it's about loading up those situations. And without Billy Sharp in the mix, who are they going to look to on field for that experience, that leadership today? Well, what you have got is you've got young legs, you've got legs out there, so. We're talking energy. If we've got Jefferson and he's stretching them one way, and Morgan Gibbs-White can work in those spaces in between the back and the middle, then I feel that with Berg running on as well, it's quite an adaptable formation that we've got there with those players being in there. Oh, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be really great to see how today unfolds. Now, of course, Kevin Gage just gave us his prediction. He's predicted
2-0, a clean sheet, and you predicted 2-1.
Yep.
So just give us some goal scorers. Who are you looking at to get us to the back of the net today?
One. I think we will get a goal. One of the midfield players will score, and I'm hoping one of the forwards. So I'll go with. Oh gosh,
pressure's on.
One. Pressure. I'm going to go with Jefferson.
Jefferson, one to watch. Yeah, you do rate him a lot, don't you?
What I've seen of him, I haven't seen him live, but I'm looking forward to see what he's got, and he is a talent from what I have seen. So it's a good opportunity for him.
Well, let's see how it unfolds in just a few moments' time. Now, time to head to our commentary team with Matt Young and Kevin Gage.
Thanks, Ashleigh. 8 games remain as Sheffield United look to film a place in the Championship's top 6 following a